everyone. Well, again, it's been a little while. I just wanted to comment on something because it's something that I do know something about. The Department of Education. As a student through the 70s, 80s, 90s, and then again in the 2000s, I got my bachelor's by the time I was, about mid-90s, a little later than most, but I got it. Then I got my master's in 2000s later in life. I was a teacher mainly. What is that? It looks foggy out. You see that? Oh, I know what that is. That's the Thermacell I have. Anyway, it's to keep away mosquitoes. So I went through the education system and then I became a teacher. And I can't tell you, the major jump between the time I left high school to the time I got into teaching was about, 10 years. 10 years. 9 years. Anyway, even then, there was a major difference in the lack of discipline in the schools. And, but the curriculum was still trying to barely hang on. But then there was a major shift in the 2000s with the curriculum, with the No Child Left Behind. And then came the Bill Gates and the core curriculum and a whole other bunch of programs they implemented that were ultimate failures and bids that they'd make on certain material, education material, software, etc., usually created and or owned by friends. Just the whole system is just so underhanded. And no matter what they dished out as far as their theories and proposals and mandates and whatever, I would always write whatever they wanted me to write weekly on my lesson plans, but I always taught the way I knew it worked. Refining things over the years, but it was very difficult and very stressful to work my way around that program or programs over the years. I can't tell you how many times lessons plans changed and always due on a Monday, and I used to ask, why can't I just turn it into you on Friday and tell you what I did during the week, and if I need to do all this major planning, this detailed, then, maybe I just don't know enough to be teaching. Anyway, there's so much that I could go into in detail, but one thing in particular, I did go through training and teaching at a prison, and the training took about 6 weeks. We're talking about self-defense, all procedures, background checks, blood tests, drugs, all that, everything. It took weeks. And then I was going to start teaching with the students, and then I happened by a window walking on the premises, and I saw a teacher and a student through a window together. Because this was a boys' prison. All boys. Female teacher, boy prisoner. So I went to the warden. I reported it. He thanked me and was just, so understanding and so this and that. And and I put my badge on his desk, and he somewhat acted surprised. Like, where would I, why am I resigning or quitting? And because of the way I look like I have no street sense or sense whatsoever. And maybe I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth, but that's not the case. And I said, you and I both know that I am now marked, and to stay here would be very dangerous for me. And I can't understand why you wouldn't let me know that. But whatever. I resigned, and I don't know if anything was done with her. I'm sure she was asked to leave, but the prison shut down. It's shut down now, a few years after. Can't imagine why. Well, that was probably, who even knows if that was part of the reason. And then another time I was in school and I was told about a teacher and a former student, and this teacher that it was told to was weak and a measly mouse, and she told me about it. I'm a mandated reporter. I said, you are required to tell. She didn't want to. She was scared of the administration, so I went with her and told them. Kept my mouth shut because I didn't know if it was true. This is a male teacher with a former male student. I caught hell. I had a really bad suspicion that, I don't mean I caught hell at the moment, but I had a bad suspicion that these women were not going to report this. So I went to the assistant ADA, the district attorney assistant, and then that was April. By August, I get a phone call. Go into his office. They've arrested him for 3 current students. And he told me they had the nerve to come in there and act like they didn't know a thing about it. See, they never were going to report it. Ever. He ended up getting 2 years only for these 3 boys because the boys didn't testify because of the trauma. So it was a plea deal. And if you think I just breezed through this without it taking a toll on me, plus my own personal life, I mean, it took a toll. More than I ever wanted to admit. I had personal things going on in my life that were extremely traumatizing over the years. And, yeah. It's only through the grace of God I'm still sitting here talking to you. And I'm still fighting for the kids. And I feel like I'm beating my head up against a brick wall. But if I'm not there, there might be somebody just not even bothering to beat their head up against the brick wall. And I don't mean the children, because they aren't guided by the right adults. I'm talking about the administration, the system, fighting it and trying to teach the best I know how. And I'm just exhausted. But if not me, even half, exhausted, I've got to be better than what I've been seeing over the years. Maybe not the best, but definitely above this sucky average. It's all wrong. Everything's wrong. We've got to get back to the basics. And I won't even go into the just exponential multiplying of special ed students in my lifetime, from nearly 0 to thousands. And I'm teaching the regular system. I went and got my master's in special ed so that I could better understand my students and the regular classroom. because some of them are labeled and shouldn't be, some of them are not labeled and should be, some of them the labeling is completely incorrect, some of them there should be multiple labels, some of them there are multiple labels and they shouldn't be, because a lot of it's tied to how much money parents get because of their disability. It's just a mess, but there's more of them, legitimately. And what has caused this, I have my suspicions. And we've got to get a hold on this. We've got to get a hold on the health and the education of our children. We've got to have any chance at a decent future. Look at what our current education system is producing. Look at what's happening. Look at it. It's so shameful. But do know that there's one person in here trying. Love to you all. Bye for now.